finally, one last thing to consider as you write your profile is your narrative. You're the writer here, and so you play kind of a tricky role in this paper. You can either put yourself into the paper as an active participant in the conversation. You can act like an observer and not even put yourself in there at all. You can be a fly on the wall who's just describing somebody and how they're acting. If you want to narrate, obviously, the process of meeting this person or interviewing this person, then you're going to have to be a part of it necessarily. But you don't need to take over by including all of your thoughts and your observations when we're trying to get a picture of this person. Let your thoughts and your observations be about them, not I was late, or I was wondering this, and I was questioning this. I don't want to see that kind of stuff. We want to see the focus being on them, and so you're going to have to choose what your place is within the narrative as the writer. There are some excellent examples from your textbook of different styles of narration that you can use.
In the Road to Kabul, Dan Rather is an active participant in the snapshot that he's creating. So you actually get to see him taking the pictures, or taking the snapshots, if you will, as he's moving around through Kabul. You understand why he's coming to Kabul again, what Kabul means to him, and then what it means to the citizens, soldiers, and other people living and fighting in Kabul. And so he's part of the direct action going on in the profile. In the Mr. Rogers profile example, the writer is coming to understand and write about his subject as his past self as a child and what Mr. Rogers meant to him as a child, as well as his present self, what Mr. Rogers means to him now that he's profiling and researched about the man. So you need to determine how you're coming to write the profile, what the subject means to you, has possibly meant to you in the past, and how you now view it. And when you decide how and why you want to focus on this one subject for your profile, and how they relate to the subject you've been writing about this entire semester, you need to determine how you fit into what you're writing about. If it would be better to write about the subject from a fly-on-the-wall perspective, meaning writing it from the third person, then by all means do that. But play with narrative voice a little bit. See whether you need to be in the profile, or determine whether you need to be left out of the profile. How best can you create that dominant impression? Sometimes you need to be in that dominant impression, sometimes you need to be removed from it. And that's one of the tricky things about profile writing, is deciding where you fit in to the narrative.
Remember to be creative in this paper. This is your most creative paper of the semester. You can choose to use more creative tone, a little bit less formal, because you could be a part of the paper, and that requires kind of an informal tone to it. But have a little bit of fun with it. Try to be creative. Ask us if you have any questions about it. To recap, remember that the most important things you'll need in your profile are good description, meaning description of scene, description of the subject that you're writing about, the person, description of the setting and the surroundings, and then your observations of the person, whether you integrate them in a first-person way or in a third-person way. And then quotation from whoever it is that you interview, because the quotations are what is going to bring that person to life. You can describe someone, but unless you let them speak for themselves, it's going to be hard to get a full picture of what they look like. And here is your chance in the profile to convince your reader that your topic is important, and it is urgent, and it needs to be resolved soon. So, use this paper for that opportunity, and since it's your last paper and it will be your last paper in your portfolio, make it go out with a bang, I guess.
And on one final note, remember profiles are often used as human interest stories, so you need to consider your audience as with any other paper that you've written this semester. What does your audience need to have in the profile? What do you need to include in the profile for them to be interested in the human stories or story that you are telling in the or that you are showing, remember, you want to show, not tell, that you are showing readers in the profile paper. So with that being said, make sure that you choose a subject that you can find interview participants for, and you need to include a picture of the person, place, or organization that you are profiling. Several would be even better.
Start looking now for someone that you can interview, because if you put it off, then you're going to have a really hard time with this paper. So look early and interview early on so that you have plenty of time to work with their quotes and formulate it into an interesting narrative.
And we are done. So good luck, and we will see you in the magazine portfolio video.